Read out the link. That.
And that.
This.
And some of these.
I was very lazy because my phone battery's on 2%. There you go. That's up there. I am gonna do a 3, 2, 1, guys. You ready? 3, 2, 1. MLSAces episode 175. This is your host Tom Sweezy, recording after a big 1-0 win for the women's national team over Canada. So we are on the way for a She Believes Cup title, 100% calling it now. But I am joined by some friends, some lovely friends in soccer. The man who was just fixing his hair, Sam. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. The flow is intact. Don't worry.
And Jason over there, how's your hair? How are you doing?
Mine's pretty good. You know, it's growing at a steady pace. As far
looks
as I know.
nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I curled it. I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
Had a perm.
It's natural. This is all natural.
I mean, we can fill this up with as much hair talk as we want because, as you guys know, this is going to be a relatively short recording, or I guess a short recording.
Are we about to announce the new sponsor, Head and Shoulders?
Pat Mahomes, Troy Polamalu, and you two. That's it.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
Sam and Jason. We're just like in the commercial.
We're just guys. We're the actors that they hit.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are like giving the haircut afterwards, you know, like that. Mm-hmm. That's your role. Yes. This recording, this stream, whatever it may be, it's going to be super short. Not a lot of news popping off around U.S. soccer within the past week. Some signings we're going to touch on, but pretty much it's going to be just us talking about some moves. You know, I'll bore you guys with the whole how to follow us, support us, all that jazz. And then stay tuned for the podcast that'll be dropping tomorrow morning. Going to be an interview with Chicago Fire midfielder, forward, whatever you want to call him, jack of all trades, Fabian Herbers. Awesome interviews. And if you guys saw my tweet or if you guys saw it on Instagram, he is my favorite German of all time. An absolute amazing human being. I may or may not have tried to drop a German accent in front of Fabian Herbers, and I'll tell you guys the story because you wanted to hear it before we started recording.
Yes.
At the end of the interview, Fabian, you know, him and I were just talking a little bit, and I remembered a few weeks ago on Instagram that I saw something on his story, and it was also on Julian Gressel's Instagram story, that, you know, they were thinking of like what would be a cool podcast name for a podcast if we did it together, like the two most, I guess, notable Germans in Major League Soccer. So I brought it up to him. I was like, you guys have a podcast coming out, like what's it going to be called, like what's it about, whatever. And he said it's called the Soccer Podcast. But he said the more German you say it, the better it comes out. And I said, let me try. I tried it, did not.
Great reason to listen to that.
I was going to say, now I have to listen to it.
Well, Fabian did a much better job of saying it and selling it than I sold it. I'm actually
the German guy did a good job. Okay.
Yeah, the German American.
Yeah, I wonder why he was good at that.
Yeah. German American.
Jason, I did mention you. We talked about his time on the Philadelphia.
Hit me up. I'm in Chicago anytime. You want to grab lunch?
Fabian, you want to hang out?
Let's just chill. Want to go kick around the ball? Let's go.
I love when I get an interview a player and the dude's just like a cool guy. So we kind of talked about like him coming over from Germany to America, choosing to go through the NCAA system, the union, his time there, the time that he enjoyed, the times that he didn't enjoy with the union. Now his time at the Fire and kind of everything around that, his German heritage, the Z Soccer podcast, and all of that. So
he's getting definitely
good. Getting better with it. The 100th time I've said it. Definitely check that out on the podcast tomorrow when that drops on whatever podcasting platforms you guys listen to. Unfortunately, we couldn't do video. Otherwise, I would just throw it in here or on YouTube or whatever it may be. And in saying that, if you guys want to support us, you can follow us on Twitch and YouTube. You guys can listen to us on any podcasting platform. MLSAces.com is our website where we have some blogs coming out, and you guys can get introduced to some of the bloggers we have within the MLS Aces chat and community and all of that. And you can also learn a little bit more about us there. If you guys want to join us, support us, patreon.com/MLSAces is where you can join that. We have a growing group of ace holes, and we appreciate every single one of them. And if you guys, want to support us, want to join us on Patreon, then you get some perks along the way. So definitely check that out. Check us out even more. Guys, I'm going to stop talking and let's dive into some MLS offseason moves. So I think we should start with the biggest name. The dude was probably one of the biggest names in soccer for close to a decade, right? Orlando City securing the Duck. More Duck talk on this podcast we haven't had in a while. Orlando City securing
the
big Duck podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we're powered by a Duck also. You see that in the top right?
Yeah. There's a Duck there. No, there, right? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, boom.
That's actually Pato. It's a guest. That's our guest for tonight.
Permanent guest.
I can now say that we've had Pato and Fabian Herbers on the same podcast. So
same
awesome. So Sam, you're the real Duck expert here.
He's
so I'm
a big red guy.
Big Duck guy.
It's family. Family is coming to Major League Soccer. So Alexandre Pato to Orlando City. I thought it was crazy when it first happened, but please go. I want to hear your take.
So I think it's a crazy move. I didn't think it was ever going to happen. But also I started looking into his stats because I was like, where does Pato even play anymore? And the answer is no one. He was a free agent, so they didn't have to pay a fee for him or anything. And the last time that he played was July of last year. He played 85 minutes in July for Sao Paulo, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And he hasn't scored since March of last year. And he's barely played. They sent him off after a game that he did not even make the squad for on July 26th. And then he's just kind of been chilling. I mean, obviously pandemic is a pandemic, but no other team was trying to punt on this guy. So I don't know. I think it's exciting for Orlando. You're going to have him and Nani and Muller together and Daryl DK if he comes back from loan. I think that's really exciting up front. But I'm just not sure what he's going to do. I don't know what his skill set's at anymore. He used to be this pacey guy up front, and now how old is he? Do you guys know how old he is? I don't
31.
know.
He's 31.
He's 31 years old. Come on.
Only 31. I want to
that's not that old.
For a dude who's been around the game
for 20 years. I would say he's been around. He's played for a lot of teams.
Yes.
What was the last time?
He's been to China and back. But
I don't
know. I think this is a very smart move for Orlando to get a guy in with a big name recognition and hope it works. Hope it sticks. If not, he was a free agent pickup. You didn't spend a transfer fee on him.
So I want to go off that point. Free agent pickup, not a DP player, really low risk, high reward contract, and just the name recognition alone, right? People are going to want to say, I want to go see Pato play soccer. And
I buy that jersey.
He's only 31. It just makes complete sense to me to pull this off. Whether if he scores 12 goals in Major League Soccer a season, he scores 10 goals. Okay. You also have a sick front three of Nani and Chris Mueller along with it too. So to me, it also seems like a little bit of a Daryl DK replacement too. Potentially, maybe they're thinking that the DK loan deal is going to be permanent. But Jason, I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is just literally the lowest risk move. They barely paid anything for it, and even if it goes horribly, then he's just gone in a year, and they move on. It brings in, like you guys said, name recognition. It brings in fans. who want to see Pato, and like maybe it is a DK replacement. Like even if that's for 6 months and DK comes back and then Pato's coming off the bench, that's perfect, right? Like that's great to have someone like that coming off your bench. If DK doesn't come back and Pato shows that he can at least sustain, some sort of outcome, like there's something that he's producing, then it's great. But I just don't really see a downside to this move, really. Like there's really no reason why they wouldn't have done this.
I mean, I agree. And if they're both banging in goals, if DK is banging in goals for Barnsley and he comes back from his loan and Pato's banging in goals, and you just have options, right? A low risk, high reward. It's sick to see Pato
100%.
coming and playing in Major League Soccer alone as well. I'll also say that. Transitioning away from
better.
Yeah, more ducks in the league, way better. You guys have anything else you want to say?
Big Duck podcast. All right, I guess I want to hear from both of you. Do you think that this makes them better? Orlando City, playoff team? Definitely now? With Pato up front?
They're definitely a playoff team.
I mean,
I don't think it makes them worse, but it doesn't necessarily make them like super better. But it just, I think they would have made the playoffs without him.
Losing DK hurt, right? Because Daryl DK has shown up so much between his time at the end of the season, his time with the U.S. men's national team, whatever it may be. But he scored 8 goals for Orlando City last year. If Pato can score 6
in a rookie
goals,
season.
And a rookie, what I'm just saying, his production of last season, if Pato can come out, score 6, 7, 8 goals, something in that range, plus what Nani can do, maybe take some pressure off Nani, plus whatever Chris Mueller is going to add on, because Chris Mueller is growing in his own right this offseason, I think this makes them just as good as what they were last year, which was the 3rd best team in the East and on a small little playoff run. So I think definitely a playoff team.
Well, also, like, DK still might be coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a good chance he isn't, but if he comes back, this Pato move looks even better because then Pato doesn't even need to do as much. There's literally no pressure for him. He just comes in maybe late in a game, last 20 minutes, and I don't know, that's what he can do.
And I always like to try to think of like the player's mindset. Like that's where my mind always goes first. Like Pato seems bought in. I don't know if you guys have been following him on Twitter and Instagram, whatever, like it may be. He's tagging Orlando City constantly. He's like saying, commenting constantly on all their tweets and stuff, saying like, can't wait to get the work in, like whatever it may be. He's training right now. Like he seems like he's bought in. He seems like he's ready. Like that has me excited too, that he's like, ready for maybe a new chapter, like he's already played for Sao Paulo. Maybe like it was boring to him. I don't know. I'm just saying like maybe it's something new and maybe this could be a brand new adventure for him. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. Cool. You guys have any other Pato talk you want to bring on?
None for me.
I want to quickly throw in here. Sam, I don't know if you're seeing the comments on Twitch, but do you see this?
Oh, Jesus, what? Hey,
Space
boys.
That's your club.
United. Those are my boys.
Yeah.
No, I was not reading that.
Then I got this one up here from Space United FC.
Sauce.
They got you. They love you.
I really dig their stuff.
I mean, that logo is nice.
And then we got this. Here we go.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Just Space United FC. Welcome to the chat. Thank you.
Really did my heart really.
Welcome to the pod. Now you're an official friend of the pod.
I would say great friends of the pod.
Friend club of the pod. How do we
gotta get the boys on now?
Of the pod. It's just a club.
Yes.
All right, Space United, you guys, thank you. We're gonna continue on with the show. Let's talk about some Atlanta United moves, because outside of the Pato move, not a lot going on except for anything really kind of focused on Atlanta United. First off, they send away Eric Remedi, who's been a part of the team for 2-3 years now, off to San Jose. Jose. I know that there was a lot of rumors that Remedi was going to go sign for a club in Argentina, South America, somewhere, wherever it may be. But apparently, Matias Almeida swooped in, picked up the MLS Cup champ, and wants him to be playing in his midfield. So this move was interesting to me. Remedi, one of those Tata guys, right? One of the guys that I think we saw a decline in his ability under Frank de Boer. But Jason, I'll go with you on your Remedi take.
Yeah, so Remedi, like towards the end, he was kind of being phased out to a sense. Like he played in, I think, 2 of the last like 9 or 10 games for Atlanta. And I think for San Jose, they're looking for a guy like Remedi. They need more defensive mid depth, and I think he comes in. And for San Jose, this is like a great move. For Atlanta, they're really not losing much, and they're more later, but. But I think that like for Atlanta, this makes sense. And for San Jose, this makes sense. And I think he can really actually help San Jose and possibly even start for them.
Sorry, I was on mute. Did not realize I was on mute. Yes, I agree. I think he in my opinion, I think he will be starting for Almeida. I think it's, again, Almeida seeing a guy who could fit his system. And, Remedi may not be the most defensive number 6, but Remedi will also not give a shit and just dribble with the ball and kind of go after it too. So maybe that kind of fits Almeida's system. But Sam, when you saw Remedi leaving Atlanta for San Jose, did you have any initial takes?
Oh, like Jason said, like it felt like Atlanta was looking to get him out the door, and then if someone's going to take a guy like him, like that's a good move. And honestly, San Jose picking him up does nothing but good for their team. Like you said, if he does start, that's going to be really good. Almeida clearly knows what he's doing, and his team is just building every year, getting better and better. And I think that system does work. I don't know if it's an MLS championship like system, but it's clearly very, very good. So I expect him to fit in well.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting take. So I want to, I guess, focus on San Jose real quick. I don't know if you're right. I don't know if Matias Almeida's system is going to win you an MLS Cup at the end of the day, but sure as shit, it's going to be a lot of fun for a few weeks. Like you're going to see some really good soccer for a few weeks, and you're going to see some really bad soccer for a few weeks too when all those guys are shot. But to me, I saw this as like Remedi playing next to Jackson Yule in almost like a double pivot type role. I think that makes sense, or in my brain, that's what I want to see. You also have a guy like Judson still there with San Jose. I don't know. Do you guys have any takes on San Jose and kind of where you want to see Remedi play? It's okay if you don't.
I don't have much on San Jose, like
I don't really
specifically anymore.
They follow me at least.
Oh, they do now?
Finally, that's awesome.
Yeah. So maybe some
we
less
like
San Jose.
They're cool.
Now we like San Jose.
They're cool.
Jason, I'll go into your point that you want to bring up. San Jose Atlanta getting rid of Remedi at D mid. They decided to bring in a new D mid in Santiago Sosa from River Plate. I'm gonna let you just go with it, Jason. So take off.
Yeah, to me, this is like a pretty big move. I mean, so Santiago Sosa is 21. Like you said, he's from River Plate. But, I mean, it was reported that he was at least drawing interest from Everton, and that there's possibly, like, the move was even denied because of, like, a work permit issue. But, like, a guy that was rumored to Everton coming to Atlanta United at 21 years old from South America, that's a pretty massive get, in my opinion. And I think, like, obviously Remedi's gone, like we just talked about. This is an immediate replacement who can start, and if he performs well, I see this being like potentially, I know we talked a little bit before the pod, Tom, but I see this potentially being somewhat of like an Almiron situation where they're bringing in a young South American who can use this either as like a springboard to go into the Premier League or at least like really perform at a high level and help Atlanta United a lot. Because I mean, if he comes in there and he's just bossing the midfield, like they're going to be great. They're going to be fine. So I see this as like a really smart move by Atlanta United.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to just quickly also toss in, I mentioned it a little bit last week, and Jason, I forgot you weren't on last week's episode. That's why the whole story I said in the beginning to you before we started recording didn't click. And I was like, I thought I said this before, but I didn't. Pretty much, and I will say this again, Marcelo Gallardo, manager of River Plate, apparently was trying to convince Santiago Sosa hard to stay within River Plate, stay within their system, saying that, like he's still young, he's going to get minutes for River Plate, and you're going to be playing for River Plate. At the end of the day, that's a huge club, right? But also, as we know, Atlanta United, they brought in their own big-named Argentinian manager in Gabriel Heinze, who he apparently also has some convincing motives on his own, and he was convincing Santiago Sosa that you're not really playing at River Plate. Come join us at Atlanta United. I'm sure he didn't say this part, but maybe like we're trying to replicate kind of like what Tata did here and bringing in some talented young South Americans to play for this club, which clearly is the plan, right? And we see that going on this offseason. So maybe like Heinze out-pulled Marcelo Gallardo. But Sam, talking about Gallardo, former DC guy, Jason and I both learned that before.
Yeah. Google
Santiago Sosa.
Google that.
The whole situation's interesting. It's kind of cool. We see Atlanta having some pull. We saw everything Jason just said as well. Like, what did you think of the situation?
It's cool to see someone. Actually, Jason's probably right on the head. That Miggy Almiron, young guy coming in with a lot of talent from a big name in South America, comes through, maybe gets a year or two under his belt in MLS, a little higher competition, moves on to Europe. Like he's 21? Yeah, he's 21 years.
he's
God,
21.
1999. Oh man.
Wild.
Got some good game time, as a 20-year-old for River Plate this year. And honestly, I would imagine that this year would have been his like step up to the next level, where he's on the field almost every week, putting in that time. He's on the Argentine U20 team, and this would have been that year. So instead of stepping up with River Plate and moving to Atlanta instead, like that shows an intent that he wants to push on to that next level. What he sees is getting ready to move on to those bigger and better things. And if the only thing that's keeping him back is a work permit issue, then I mean, seeing Argentine U20 teammates like Barco playing at Atlanta, like I'd want to go there too. That's where my teammate plays. Like, and if he says he likes it, yeah, exactly. For a countryman, so like that, I think that says a lot about him, and I think this is going to be a good year for him if he gets a lot of playing time.
Is Barco still a pull anywhere? I just want to mention that first, because I don't really think he is. I'm over the whole Barco thing.
Big boat guy, not a big boat guy.
I think there's a route for him to.
I'm still a big Barco guy. I think he can figure it out. Maybe new management. Yeah. It's like
he's got high potential in FIFA.
He's had high potential for 8 years now.
Yeah. How many years did he play under Tata, and then he got stuck with De Boer? Like he was there to play under Tata.
Yeah,
De Boer could have stopped a moving train.
He wasn't great. He's not great.
That's fine. I'm not going to argue with you guys here. Jason, you were saying something. I'm sorry.
I just think that like Sam was saying, kind of to go off that, like Heinze showing intent in getting this guy, like one of his guys, like you said, maybe there was some pull there that he kind of won out and got his guy.
Yeah.
I think that it alone shows like commitment from the coach who is going to play this player and understand, like he got him for a reason because he's seen him and he watches him. So that to me is like, there's a high percentage that this could be very successful.
Look, I think that he's going to be a good player. I'm hoping he's a good player, right? I like when Atlanta United's good. They bring, obviously not during a COVID year, but they bring 65,000 to a stadium. They're rocking. They have a good culture, good environment down there. Like I want to see them good at the end of the day. Like I'm not trying to take a shot at any MLS team, but the culture's way better than like Salt Lake City, Utah. If there's any team that plays there, you know.
I'm
So
not trying to take a shot, but I'm about to take a shot.
I like that he's like, if a team plays there, like there isn't like an MLS team there with a cup. With a
if
cup.
it's just a team, yeah, okay. When was the last time they won the cup? MLS 1.0. Come on,
I will say it is fun.
New York City
not,
over here.
like rooting against Atlanta United. So
I want Atlanta United to be evil because I want to just hate on them. That's what I want.
It's fun to root against them, but they have to be good because it's not fun to root against a shit team.
That's true.
Can you really hate Austin, Sam?
Yeah,
They're looking like fun.
No, you can still dislike him though.
Anthony Precourt is still the owner.
Yeah, you can hate him. Hate the owner, not the game.
But I also like Matthew McConaughey. So,
they just need to get Precourt out. Like we gotta get that trending on Twitter.
Which team? And we'll finish off the episode with this since we're having a little bit of fun. Which team do you like to hate more? And I think I know both your answers. Atlanta United or the LA Galaxy?
Do I like to hate more?
Yeah, like which team do you like really want to hate more?
Oh, no, there's which team I like to hate, and there's which team I really hate.
Okay,
my hands aren't on screen, but like there is a difference. I just don't like LA Galaxy because I think this is gonna be so bad. I don't like the LA Galaxy because I think that LA Galaxy had so much success, not because they were like some fantastic team with like a great setup. They were a fantastic team because they had a market where you could get the best players because they wanted to go and play in Los Angeles. So I don't like LA.
But I don't
like it. Oh, well, yeah, it works.
Well, it works for every sport.
It works for every sport. Like, hey. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work for every sport. It doesn't. When was that?
The Yankees are just fine. I hate the Yankees too.
Big markets are always gonna
big markets do better.
Upside.
You want to talk about the last three champions in fucking any sport is Tampa Bay. Okay, the NHL, NFL, and then the Rays made the World Series. So
and LA won the World Series.
Oh wait, who did they lose?
Okay, but I'm saying you guys are saying
won the NBA championship. Oh, was it LA? Because it might have been LA. I can't remember
where LeBron wanted to go to. Big market.
Yeah, because of LeBron just wanted to go there because it's LA. Like you have all that TV and all that shit that goes with LA. It's Hollywood. That's why
Zlatan was not going to Columbus. Zlatan was going to LA.
I don't know that.
Yes, I do know that.
I know Zlatan's not going to Real Salt Lake. That's for damn
sure.
Giuseppe Rossi went to RSL. So that means
Giuseppe Rossi needed a new start.
Alexandre Pato is going to Orlando City.
That's Florida. Like
it's not LA. Orlando is not LA.
Maybe LA didn't need the strike. LA spent so much money on Chicharito, the biggest striker in Mexico last year.
Whatever. I'm done. Every single time I have an opinion, you guys just completely.
Hey, Space United agrees with us, and they're friends with us.
I can't.
You gotta listen.
I have three against one. Whatever. I'm over it, guys. This is a super short recording tonight, just because we have the interview coming out on the podcast tomorrow with Fabian Herbers of the Chicago Fire. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good one. So please make sure you check out the podcast on wherever you listen to your podcast, because Fabian was a very good conversation. I want to have him back on the podcast. He is a friend of the pod, the same way that Space United FC is now a club of the pod.
Yes, Space United FC in LA, though, they're cool. No, the rest
pretty much, guys. Thank you for listening.
Wait,
stay
I got
tuned.
a little thing to add.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Watch the She Believes Cup USA versus Brazil at 3 p.m. Eastern time on, I think it's Saturday.
Sweet.
Saturday.
It is Sunday. It is
Sunday. Tune in. USA
the 21st,
Brazil.
Sunday.
Now we all have plans for the weekend, so that's good.
Hey.
21st is a Sunday, so now I'm good.
Let's
Yeah.
watch some U.S. women's national team. Let's lock up the She Believes Cup, and
That
let's raise
also
another
will
trophy.
probably be the most important game of the She Believes Cup.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah,
mean, that makes
100%.
sense.
So.
Right. And cool. My one last shout out is Daryl Grove. We love you. We miss you. I got my patch in this weekend. I love it. I wish it was a sticker. I wanted to put it on my laptop because I have nothing to patch this onto. But I'm finding a spot for this. So Total Shocker Show, Daryl Grove. We love you. Yeah. Thank you guys for for listening, for watching. If you are listening to the podcast, stay tuned for the Fabian Herbers interview that's going to happen in your ears in 2 seconds. So
listen to us
Thank
first,
you.
hopefully.
Bye.